And ladies and gentlemen, we are live at the one and only Rebar Show. We are joined by me, JP Fingers, still no Wiseman, my co-host, quarantining. And we are joined by two very special guests. I'm going to call them OJ and Pierre. What is going on, guys? Tell me something about yourselves.
What's up, man? OJ Lima here with my partner, Pierre. I'll let him introduce himself. The guys behind Taste Select Repeat and all of the barrel picks that the whiskey barrel picks people are loving out here.
Yo, it's Pierre. Just the better half of Taste Select Repeat.
The better half.
True.
And not much going on. I'm not sure what day we are quarantine, but we're there.
So today's my first day working from home. I woke up today. My old man came over. We shot the shit from like 15 feet away. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it on Monday. I'm like, it's Saturday right now. And he's like, it's Wednesday. And I'm like, yeah, I got up like it was a work day, but I didn't have to go to, I was like, yeah, it's Wednesday. I'm like, I guess I'll worry about it Monday now when I'm back at work. So, this is fucked up some people, man. Like dude, my mind's all over the place. I got to grab a cut. I didn't even bring a cutter with me.
It's messy out here.
It is
out here.
All right. So you guys do barrel selects for stores, what, New York, New Jersey at all, or just New York area?
All over.
Everywhere.
We have two liquor stores that we work with primarily right now. One is in right in New York City, 58 Wine and Liquor. That's run by our boy Sean Kim, really great guy. We started with him, and just New York is a different animal because of the floor space is so limited. So there were other barrel picks that we wanted to do that he just couldn't accommodate because of his floor space. And then we got up with Blake Reiber from Sealbox, and he's got an online store, and he's accommodated like our the picks that we've done with the smaller distilleries. So we've worked with a couple different retailers, and then most recently we've been working on getting our own license so that we can, when we want to do things that other retailers don't want to do or don't have space to do, that we can do them on our own.
So you're going to be like, essentially, it's like a boutique bourbon connect.
Yeah, something like that. Like what we kind of realized was, well, all right, let me take it back a minute, and then I'll let Pierre chime in. So about 2 years ago, I did my first barrel pick with Sean from 58 Wine and Liquor. He was gracious. I was a customer of his. We became friends. He was gracious enough to invite me down to do a Four Roses pick with him in Kentucky. He had been doing all his picks on his own. So we went down there. We did him. We did it. We had a great time. Then we did some from Whistle Pig, and then Pierre popped up. He was also a client of Sean's, and he was taking a lot of pictures of all of our bottles, and we knew that he had a really great palate. And so I said to Sean, we should let Pierre come and pick with us. I think it would add a lot. And also, like, it's just from the logistics of doing picks, it's easier to do it with an odd number of people than an even number of people. So then Pierre jumped on, and he's been doing a picks with us ever since. And pretty much they've just been, they've been selling out pretty quickly. I mean, you get about 150 bottles from a barrel, and they've just been going like that. I mean, we've had picks sell out we've had super small barrels we've done sell out in 30 minutes.
Damn.
We've had regular barrel sell out, regular 150 bottle barrel sell out in 5 days. We've had big barrels, which have taken a couple months, but, we're kind of at that point now where people know who we are, and they know what we do, and there's enough. They've seen the bottles on Instagram, and when people see them, they clamor to buy them. So, we've been just kind of working on ramping up how many barrels we're picking. I think 2 years ago we did 2. Last year I think we did 4, and this year we were trying to do 10 to 12. Knock on wood on the floor. Hold on.
I'll knock for you too.
It still happens, but and we have commitments from all these great. We've already picked a bunch this year. And we have commitments from a bunch of distilleries, but obviously we're dealing with this COVID situation, so we'll see what happens.
Yo, you guys, I mean, essentially from a bourbon, I mean, I guess even a drinker's perspective, that's like a dream job what you guys do. I mean, and to top it off, it's bourbon on top of that, right? So that, I mean, I don't even want to say the history of bourbon. We got to talk about bourbon 5-6 years ago after, but yeah, it's, I mean, it's something that needs to be talked about. But yeah, no, that's insane that you guys get to do that. Like, that's sick.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate from working with Sean. He's, like I said, he's a great guy, and really, like, all credit is due to him for putting us on. Then Blake, really, we were just internet friends, and he's the guy. He's Bourboner. He goes by Bourboner. We were just internet friends, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, if there's ever anything that you want to do, reach out to me. I'd be happy to sell through Sealbox." So he then helped us get to some of the more craft distilleries. So like Finger Lakes, which is equidistant between us and y'all, which is, in my opinion, one of the premier distilleries. Small craft distilleries. They're in business 10 years. They've done all of their own stuff. He helped us get to New Riff, and we did the Women's History Month pick that was like going like that. So yeah, man, it's a fun time. I mean, this is my full-time job, and I literally spend my time communicating with people at distilleries, saying to them, "Hey, we're interested in doing work with y'all, doing barrel picks with y'all." There's a little bit more to it that we try to offer than just, "Hey, we'll show up and pick a barrel."
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has been really responsive. I think you and I have some friends in common.
Yeah.
Like the changing face of whiskey, right? Like,
yeah.
Whiskey used to be like a bunch of fat old white dudes in the South.
Yeah.
And now, like, even if you just look at all of the recent reports and data, what it really says is like it's growingly. There's, I think, something like 3 million new consumers to whiskey in the last 5 years, and of them, 1.8 million are people of color. And the vast majority of those 1.8 million are like, Latin, Hispanic, Latinx people, like a lot of the dudes that we know, like Knights of the Leaf, those guys who maybe used to drink something else and then got put on to something and then went through the same thing that we all went through, which is like discovering all these great products that are out there. And we're in New York, we're based out of New York City, and that's kind of like those are our people, and that's our market.
Yeah, 100%. I want to drink my drink so bad. I've had a couple sips of it already. I mean, I gotta say it. All right, what we're drinking and what I'm smoking is brought to you by Luxury Cigar Club. Don't waste your time with any of these other monthly Cigar Club subscriptions. It's just a waste of time. Go with the best. It's all in the name. Luxury Cigar Club. Use promo code REBAR and save yourself some coin. All right, Pierre, you go first. What are you drinking?
Well, thank you. I am drinking a lovely barrel-proof bourbon, limited edition, Traverse City.
Ooh.
I was lucky enough to have OJ over just before everyone went to quarantine. Asked me to open this up. I did, and I've been drinking it ever since.
See, every time I go to Pierre's house, I tell him to open a bottle, and he gets like all in his feelings about it. But aren't you glad?
I mean, some bottles, it's like, no, I got to do it with these guys. I got to do it with these, or it's for this occasion. It's for this occasion. You get drunk and then you end up opening it, and you're like, now it's gone.
Well, yeah. Oh snap! All my sticks are downstairs. Hold on a second. But I'll tell you what I'm drinking. So shout out to the greatest island in the history of islands. I'm drinking a Manhattan.
Oh. So
here we go. Look. Do you see that? You see that frost rim?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just made these fresh. So I'm. Pierre and I are both. Pierre's out in Long Island City. I'm up in Harlem. But unfortunately, I had to. I relocated a couple weeks ago. It's been almost 2 weeks. I think I want to say like 12 days. I had to break out. I got little kids, and New York is literally like New York City is just fundamentally the antithesis of like this whole virus thing. Like,
Yeah.
I live in an apartment complex, beautiful place, amazing people, but probably like 250 apartments in my complex. So there's just like no theoretical way to get outdoor time with children, and like there's a lot of senior citizens there. So I had to relocate the fam. So now I'm in Cape Cod. I'm out in Martha's Vineyard at the family crib. So here's to Manhattan and all my people there. I wish I could have stayed, but it was just a difficult time, and it just looks stressful and hard on the news. And I'm praying for all of my people there, because that's our heart, and that's the epicenter of everything that we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you got to do what's best for the family, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's it was a children thing. So
yeah, 100%, man, 100%. All right, I am drinking Elijah Craig 12 year.
It's one of OJ's favorites.
It's dude, that's one of my all time favorites, and it's my last bottle. My last bottle, and I am smoking the Lawless from Black Label Trading Company, and yeah, it's a pretty good cigar too. So I mean, I'm always having a good time if I'm busting out this bottle of bourbon, man. Yeah.
I love that's like literally the bottle that took me from like just a dude who was going in and buying random stuff to like, oh, I gotta get like more. That was the bottle for me, that took my interest level up through the roof. That made me be like, oh, I gotta have more bottles. Oh, I gotta have 3 of these in the house.
Oh yeah, you start chasing it. Mine was Four Roses. So I got in on the Four Roses, the single barrel. I'd had bourbon before, scotch, everything, but you're just like, ugh. Then that one day sitting on my deck back here like 10 years ago, I'm like, this thing tastes like chocolate. It was like caramel and chocolate, and I was just like blown away. And I was like, now I got to start trying everything. Then they had this in Canada, right? When this was around, it was like $36 a bottle, Canadian. So I would just, I'm a bottle a week, burying it. And then all of a sudden it's just like, what do you mean it's not there anymore?
Right.
Like, oh yeah, they discontinued it because of, the supply and demand couldn't keep up for it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, you know what? I've had this bottle now for, I think, 4 years. And I finally opened it up 2 months ago. Now I have to be careful with this. Now I have to be careful with it. And it's, when I was drinking it, when I wasn't as experienced as I am now, oh, he's got what is that, a brick of cigars?
That's the cigar bag, the cigar travel bag.
And I look back and I'm like, I can't believe I drank that much of it just to drink it. But I mean, obviously it was good because I kept drinking it. Now I have it and I'm just like, I was burying these bottles, burying them.
I mean, look, I'm not here to tell Heaven Hill how to run their business, because they seem to be doing fine. But I think it was they number one, they should have never changed the design on the bottle. That's my opinion. The new bottle is like a weird looking. It's just the old bottle was the classic, big red. But then number two, like they should have never taken that particular product out. And I know people say, oh, it was about how much they have and this and that, but I'm just maybe sell a couple less barrels to Willet, and then you could keep doing your 12.
Yeah, and I mean the new stuff is good. In my opinion, the bottle, you're right, the bottle is fun. You know what it looks like? You know the coffin emoji?
Yes.
That's what it looks like. It looks like the coffin emoji.
Yeah, on the
Every
right.
time I see it, and I mean it's great shit. But the crazy, it's the same price as this. What I was paying for this, that's the same prices.
Right. Now they're giving you the slightly more watered down 8-year.
Exactly, right? I'm getting like some crazy blended. I want to say it's blended. It might not be, but whatever. For the same prices I was paying for this. Now that I drink this and I drink that side by side, I don't even want to touch the other one now.
I would take that. I say this to people all the time. I would trade a bottle of Pappy 12 for a bottle of the Elijah Craig 12 any day.
The Pappy 12 is easier to find than this now.
He was like, I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
Which one?
Which one?
I got a couple things for you, but
Uh-oh. I think I might be in trouble.
Right. all good. It's all good. We're gonna open them all when we get back.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
I have to hide all my good bottles before OJ comes over.
I got a couple buddies like that. I mean, the bourbon game, you're always gonna have something somebody doesn't, and somebody's always gonna have something you don't have, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I got a couple buddies. They're like, "Oh, do you have this?" And everybody calls it juice. Do you got this juice? Do you got this juice? And I'm like, dude, you just liked a photo on Instagram of me drinking it yesterday. You know I got it. Picture of the bottle in my hand, going, "Oh man, this stuff's so good." And you come over here a day later, and going, "Hey, did you get any of that stuff?" It's like you already asked me how it is, and I told you, and now you're asking me if I have the bottle.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, are you strictly bourbon, or do you like to dabble in other whiskeys?
I cover the coast with whiskeys, man. I'm a Scotch guy. I'm Canada, so I love rye. Like a properly done rye, I love, man. I love. So I actually have 40 Creek whiskey.
Yeah.
I have a bottle from a barrel there that my mother-in-law picked.
What?
Yeah, and it's got my my IG name on the back of it engraved, JP Fingers.
Nice.
Okay. And how do we get that?
That I don't even know if there is any left, actually. Honestly, this was 3 years ago. So, any limited edition stuff 40 Creek does. I live 23 minutes away from 40 Creek where they make it all and everything. So just, pop in there, boom, you do the tours, you sample the whiskey. It's a sick time, and there's nothing like being at either a brewery or a distillery.
Oh
And
no.
they do a lot of single barrels?
What's that?
They do a lot of single barrels?
No. They'll do like a limited release where it's, I believe, 700 bottles, 700 and I think under 1,000. Once a year, they drop it. Boom. That's it.
Oh, wow.
That's something they should get into. I mean, because, single barrel is the future right now, right? Like, everybody is going to buy up a single barrel from anything. It doesn't matter what it is. People are going to buy it up.
Oh, that's what we're building a business on.
Mm.
Pray for us.
All right, OJ, what are you smoking?
All right, I got a bunch of stuff here. And my wife was gracious enough to bring this up for me, but I'm waiting to get I'm waiting to get a light. But I don't know. Tell me what your thoughts are. I got these I actually was chasing for a while, and Nick Montan, I gotta give him credit, found them for me. It's a Flor Decano. This was something I had discovered, I want to say like 7, 8, actually more than that, 10 years ago. I bought my first Flor Decano in a shop. I was in Dublin taping a show for VH1. What's that kid's name? The redheaded guy who sings the songs that everyone loves.
I was thinking of Sean Palmer when you said redheaded guy and MTV.
He's a British dude. He's a little British dude and he sings the songs. He's got a guitar, and people love him.
Ed Sheeran?
Ed Sheeran, yes. Thank you.
Oh, see now, no, I lost so much credit by actually knowing that. I think.
Sorry, he's like he's Justin Bieber with a guitar who can't dance.
Yeah.
So I was in Dublin. I was working for VH1. We were shooting a live show, like literally a live show at this small venue in Dublin, maybe like 50 people. One of my career highlights. And they have a great cigar shop there called Maloney Fox. And I was much younger in my cigar game, and I went in there, and there were two things that I got in that cigar shop that have stayed with me ever since. Edmundo Dantes, which is always hard to find. I very rarely can find it, but really love them. And then the Flor Decano. The Flor Decano that I got there was the Exclusivo Gran Bretagna, Great Britain.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Españas. I was a couple weeks ago, again, before this COVID thing jumped off, with Nick Montan, a friend we have in common, out in Jersey celebrating his birthday. Brought him a bunch of bottles, brought him a birthday bourbon, and we were just having lunch, and we were just smoking, and he pulled one out. Like, literally, this dude is like, I can maybe have like 1, maybe 2 cigars is good for me in a sitting. This dude is doing like 3, 4. So on cigar 3, he pulls it out, And I'm like, yo, you have where did you get the Flor Decano? I can't find it anywhere. Right. And he put me on to someone a retailer who had them. And I got them right before I left to come out here. So I got those. That's what I'm thinking about smoking today.
That could probably be from another friend, a friend in common, I think.
Kudos. Okay. Yeah.
I'm thinking so. Is it Puro Haven?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my. Yeah, he's one of my good buddies. One of my really good buddies. Yeah.
So,
small world.
So Nick told me he's out. Yo, Pierre, he literally lives in your neighborhood.
Yo, shout him out.
Really?
You got to shout him out.
Okay, so you can shout him out because I don't think I'm gonna mess up his ID handle. But I was with Nick Montan, and Nick was like, "This is where I got him. Hit me way up. He's got a lot of great stuff." I hit him up and I told him the deal. Hey, this is who put me on to you. Nick was smoking the Islas Bajas, which is like I would assume is like the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I don't have those anymore, but I have the Españas. So he sent me the Españas. I literally got them one day before I bounced out of New York City. I took them all with me, so I got them here. So
awesome. That's dope.
Well, let me figure it out. I'm going to clip one.
I got to say it now. All right. I don't smoke too many Cuban cigars, but when I do, I hit up the plug. And when I'm talking about the plug, I'm talking about when you're looking for your Cuban cigars, your high-end Davidoff, stuff like that, you got to hit up Puro Haven. Hit them up. Instagram, Puro Haven. Hit them up. Boys got the fire.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Before I go saying that, I got to drop my sponsors now. The one and only Rebar is brought to you by United Cigars. My friends, you got to start living United. You got to start smoking United. Go to your local retailer. Wait a minute. You can't even go to your local retailer because we're all locked up right now. You go to UnitedCigarGroup.com. There's a list of all the online sites that will get you United Cigars to your doorstep. Live United, smoke United. All right. And
that sounds like a good site, man. They got good stuff there.
So you go there. It has all the cigar sites, right? All the cigar store websites that carry United Cigars. So you hit it up there. You go to these sites. Boom. You have all the United Cigars and everything else they carry.
They ship everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay. I'm gonna check that out.
I might be dropping some more knowledge of places to go, promo codes. You never know. All right. The one and only Rebar is going to say some stupid stuff. I'm going to say some dumb shit. By no means does it reflect any of the sponsors of the show. It's just who I am, and it's just what I say. Deal with it. All right. Now we could say anything we want now.
now we got that out of the way.
Anything. That is my lawyer. That is my lawyer now having my back. You go nuts. Say anything you want. I'm fair game now.
Earmuffs.
Yeah. I just got to beep. All right. One thing we need to touch on, right? Pierre, how long have you been in the bourbon game for?
In the game? Oh.
Well, how long have you been enjoying bourbon for?
Enjoying probably, I don't know, I'd probably say around like 15 years.
Okay. OJ, how about you?
All right, let me think about this. So I was like a general, was it 10? A little bit, I want to say 10, around 10, maybe a little bit less.
Okay.
I can trace it back to a year, but I'm just, you got me a little preoccupied right now.
All right. I'm about 6 years seriously into bourbon. All right. If we could go back 5 years now with the pricing 5 years ago, what is going to be your bottle that you're going to grab, right?
5 years prior.
5 years prior with the pricing 5 years prior.
Interesting. Here, you take that one first, I think.
See, this is going to be funny because I just posted something on Instagram that's going to not jive with what I'm saying, but 5 years ago, when Michter's 20 was a lot less than what it's going for now.
See, that's a good call though, right? Because the market's inflated right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not going to get anywhere. It's not going to go cheaper now. It's only going to go up and up and up.
But I mean, but quite honestly, I mean, listen, that's a one bottle. If it was like something that's more of a daily drinker, like I don't think that I'd change too much. Like the Michter's 10, I was getting that anywhere from $90 up to $120,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still right now I can still get it for like $1.50. That's still my daily go-to. If I'm buying anything.
Interesting. All right, OJ's thinking. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, what are you doing? What are you grabbing?
You know what? You know what I'm grabbing? I think 5 years ago, I'm grabbing the Parker's Heritage. Like they had all these bomb releases. I mean, it's both a blessing, a curse, a positive and a negative. But the Parker's Heritage collection was created by Parker Beam, who was a master distiller, who had is it Alzheimer's, Parkinson's,
Yeah.
Parkinson's, ALS, and when he realized he had ALS, they decided that they would do these limited releases, Heaven Hill, and drop these bottles that he was picking himself. And they had such a great variety of bottles. They were so amazing. And 5 years ago, they were like already I want to say like 4 years in, 5 years in maybe. And they had the Parker's Heritage 11-year wheat. Then they came back with the 27-year, like 128 proof bourbon.
Damn.
They had the Promise of Hope. They had all these bottles that he picked that ended up just being like, I mean, they're just unicorns and so hard to get. And they've continued the tradition now. The distillery has continued the tradition. I think the bottles are not as good. They're a little more experimental. And I think they're just, like they're trying to figure out their footing on like how they should proceed with the program.
Yeah.
And I think that takes a little time. So like every year they come out, like, look, I buy it regardless. It doesn't make a difference whether the reviews are good or whether the reviews are bad, because I think it's the right thing to do. And I know that it supports a charity.
Mm-hmm.
And very rarely do you have a scenario where you buy a bottle and that money goes to a charity. So I think it's a good thing.
I'm not mad at any of the Parker's Heritages. Even the 8-year rye, the barrel finished, first one. Like I'm happy with all the Parker's Heritage.
That Parker's Heritage barrel fit, the Curacao one that everyone was shitting on, like, oh, it tastes too much like oranges. I actually loved it and was really enjoying it and was really happy about it. Yeah. So yeah, that was, if I could go back, because I'm still like, I killed that 11-year wheat, I killed that 27-year bourbon, like, and they're so hard to find. The prices are so inflated now, but that was the one series. Like when it started coming out, and I was onto it and what was going on, I was always like, I got to get this every year. And I pretty much like ever since then bought one every year. But I'm a drinker, man. I'm not going to front. I'm not a collector. I'm a drinker. So I kill them and I share them. And I think that's the best thing, as an ambassador of whiskey and bourbon and American whiskey. I very much believe that like you should share bottles with people, in particular like expensive bottles, high-end bottles. Like I'll get to a point like, I had an Al Young bottle. I drank 3/4 of the bottle and I was like, I've experienced it. I've loved it. I've enjoyed it. And I traded it to someone for something of, in most people's cases, lesser value. But I was happy to do it because I think like if you want to grow an industry, you got to think of yourself as an ambassador share. And they share even right in this world right now of like tit for tat and like,
Look what I have.
I'm trying to get the deal on someone. I'm like, that's useless, man.
Yeah. Well, and that's something, I mean, it's the same with cigars, right? You could have not necessarily a bad bourbon, but a bourbon that's not as good, but it's who you're sharing it with. Like it's all who you're sharing it with. Like, you got Tech, Montan, Ortiz. we've drank some horrible stuff, but you know what? It's the fact that we're together and how we're doing it and what we're. It's like it ends up being something like, yeah, I gotta retry that again. You retry and you're like, oh god, that's horrible. It was what you were doing with it, right?
Yeah, I love those guys. Those guys are great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. They're yeah. No, they're yeah.
Those guys are great. I was introduced to them through my friend Rudy, who this is a totally crazy story, but um, Rudy is the friend of my wife has a friend from the Bay. My wife's friend married a guy from New York City that from the Bronx who Rudy was homies with, right? So we met at the wedding. And then we were both turned out we were at the wedding with cigars. Turned out, oh, okay, oh, boom. So he introduced me to Montan at a cigar shop out in Bloomfield, and we became friends. And then we had a blind tasting for our social club, right? And Montan brought Ortiz, and they came to Pierre's house, and that's how we all became homies.
That's awesome. It's such a small world, right? And then
Yeah.
it's like, wait a minute, we're all this cool, like, you know, everybody's cool with each other, and it's like, and then we have this in common, and then we have this in common. I mean, it makes for a dangerous time, but a good time, right?
It's
So
it's just love to know, man. Like, those guys are good dudes, and they were one step removed from me and my people, and now we're all joined together and we're all people.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, I gotta say, my 5 year ago bottle. I don't want to sound. I mean, I gotta say Weller. Dude, I used to grab Weller for seriously. It was like $22 up to $26 in the range for whether it was the 7, the 12, like.
Yeah.
And you look at it that, or I was gonna say Booker's.
Yeah. So peep this, man. So where I'm at, I'm in Massachusetts. I'm in Massachusetts, and the liquor store that I'm at, they move a lot of weight, obviously, because people out here. I'm in a town I'm in a vacation town. So my family has a house here. In the summertime, it's the population goes up by a power of 10. So they just moved weight out of this liquor store. So I went in there the other day, maybe a week ago, and I had to get beer for the crib, like just essentials.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "The lady, what do you got in the back?" Right? They got Michter's 10 listed on the thing. Michter's 10, $120, but ask at the counter. So I just said to the lady, "What do you got in the back?" So she was like, "All right, cool. Like I'll show you." But of course, because of the COVID shit, she couldn't really show me. So I could peep in, and she had a Weller 107, and I was like, "Yo, just give me that. I'll take it." Right, really nice price, like $60, $70, something like that. And then I bought just a 6-pack of beer, which was stupid because I came back and me and wifey we killed that in like a day. So on Sunday, like multiple days later, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna get us some more beer." Right, and I went back and they got Weller 12 on the shelf in there for I think like $49 a bottle. So I posted up in the chat. These motherfuckers. I posted up in the chat, and these dudes are like, "Yo, can you get me a bottle?" I'm like, "Yo, dude, I'm not gonna see you till June."
But then it might be a Weller 13 year. Yo, it'd be even worse if nobody asked, and all you get is, "Yo, OJ, I just PayPal'd you. Yo, OJ, I just PayPal'd you."
Do you really need me to go in this crisis? Do you really need me to go to the liquor store and clear out the shelf? It was like 6, 7 deep. They're deep with the Weller 12.
Damn.
I will say we had our blind taste with the people, and the Weller 12 did not stand up to the Mackenzie 6-year bourbon that we picked for Taste Select Repeat.
Damn.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Hey.
I
can't fault you guys. I can't fault you. Hey, plug away.
Shameless plug right there. So, all right, look, can I speak on it right now?
All right.
Can I speak on it? All right. So, and your guys will back this up because this is the one they came to. We went to Finger Lakes, which is Seneca Lake, closer to you than it is to us. That's a distillery. They've been in operation for about 10 years. They've never sourced. They've done all their own stuff. They've done a bunch of experimental stuff, and a couple of things they've done, like that they've nailed down on, is a wheated whiskey. And so we went up there and we asked them, hey, look, we were the first group to go up there, literally to go to the distillery and pick at the distillery. They'd send samples to people, but no one had ever gone up there. And so we contacted them, thanks also to Blake again from Seal Box. And we were like, we want to come up to you and see what you got, like, and let's figure it out. They lined up a ton of picks. I was like, we're interested mostly in your wheated whiskey. We know you got rye. We know you got experimentals. They lined up a ton of stuff for us. We ended up picking, at that time, a 5-year wheated whiskey, but there was also another whiskey with spelt that Pierre loved that he picked, and we took those two barrels and we blended them. That became DIY 4. And that one, right, DIY 4 went on, that one went on sale on Seal Box and basically was a crap load of bottles, got super bought out. I think there's maybe like 3 bottles left to buy. We had 2 barrels that we put into that blend. One was a wheated whiskey. In December 27th, it turned 6 years old. We told them, bottle the rest of it. It was 72 bottles. They bottled it. It went on sale on Seal Box. It sold out in 30 minutes. We took that bottle. We blinded it against the entire Weller lineup. So Reserve 107, Weller 12, Weller Full Proof, CYPB, and it beat all of them. The final 3 was our 6-year wheated bourbon pick, and then the Full Proof, which I think is the best bourbon in the market right now, even though it's very hard to get, and then the 107. The 12, the Reserve, and the CYPB didn't even make it to round 2.
Damn. Well, I mean, it's what you show here shows off in what you guys do, right? You know, it's a reflection of what you guys do, right? And that's, you know, there's nothing like getting into a conversation with somebody about bourbon or cigars that knows about bourbon. You know what I mean? It's, oh shit, like, you know, you're crazy about and the way the bourbon world is now is there's not a lot of bigger things in the world than there is now.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. And it, you know, back in the day, I remember walking in the store, Stag Junior. Yeah, no problem. You know, $39. Grab it. You're drinking it thinking nothing's ever going to change. Nothing. Weller, grab it. You know, $23. Grab it. Nothing's ever going to change. Nothing's going to change. You see the slow increase. Then you don't buy it for a year and you go back and look. Are you kidding me? Like, if you can even get some of that stuff, right? It's there.
But we're kind of at the crossroads of social media and the whiskey boom, and everybody wants to have something to show off on social media that's different. You know, single barrels is a great way to do that. Other than going out there and finding ways to get these, you know, quote unquote unicorns that everybody wants, but they're always like doing deals under the table to get. But I think the single barrels are a great way to do it without being all shady and under the table. But you can get some delicious stuff that, you know, it's to me it's amazing because you can go and get like a regular batch creation from a distillery and it tastes great, but there's single barrels that taste exponentially better than that batch stuff. And you know, for me, it's always those single barrels always blow away so many other things.
Techniques, Dave Panda put me on to he got me like my one. I grabbed the Michter's barrel pick before. I grabbed the Angel's Envy barrel pick before, like 5 years ago. Dave Techniques grabbed me a Weller, the red bottle. So what is that? The antique?
Yeah.
The 107, yeah. So he grabbed me a barrel pick from someplace in New Jersey. I held it for like 3-4 months. Finally opened it, dude. I had a glass with him while we're video chatting. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude.
Probably Bayway.
Yeah.
Insane how I was like, I've never had a Weller taste this good.
Was it that one?
Yeah, there it is.
Bayway. No, they're dope.
And
like creditors do. Look, man, we do and we do like blind tasting. So like, if we'll pick from Four Roses, right? We just did this right before everything went crazy. We did a blind tasting of Four Roses, and we did our most recent Four Roses pick, one from Pursuit, one from Gary's, like a bunch of different people who had done barrel picks, and we let people from our social club come and like try them. And in this particular case, our barrel pick that we had just done, which sold out in 5 days, it came in third. The number 2 was Gary's, a shop called Gary's in New Jersey. And the number 1 was a pick from the guys who do the Bourbon Pursuit podcast. And those guys are dope. And it's like, yo, credit where all credit is due. Like, I would love to be number 1 every time. Like, it's nice when you do a blind and you're number 1. It doesn't always happen. But the fact that it's like, you know, I know, you know, these people, you know what they're doing, you know, they have integrity, you know, they have talent, ability, they're in it, they're picking like great stuff. And it just kind of goes to show you the distilleries, at least the ones that are agreeable to expanding kind of what they do and what their business is, letting clubs in, letting stores do different things. Like it really pays off.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, I don't know why they would have a problem with doing something like that. When they do something like that, it's free marketing essentially. They still make their money hand over fist. No doubt they make their money. But it's some guy gets a bottle out of that, hey, try this, to his buddy. Now his buddy's like, damn, I want and then people just start chasing and going after it, right? It's free. It's almost like social media where it's just you do something like that for a group, boom, that grows. Now that group goes from 20 to 40, from 40 to 60. Now there's 2 different groups in between those groups that like the weeded bourbon and that don't like non-wheat. And yeah, it's ridiculous why you wouldn't want to do that. But I mean, it's with anything. People are going to do something or not going to do something, right? So,
I mean, some of these distilleries don't have, right? Like some don't have stock. I think that's the easiest way to look at it. Like whether they want to, some do and some don't, right? So like some have stock and some have stock in spades, and some of the ones who have stock in spades are pretending that they don't have as much as they have. And then some of the distilleries, the younger ones, they just don't have stock, right? And so they've done barrel picks with people and it's gotten good reviews. Maybe that wasn't something they distilled and like now they don't have it. So it's an ever flowing game. But you know, I mean, 2 of the distilleries that I look at most recently that we've picked at, New Riff, right? When you go to pick at New Riff, pretty much everything you pick there is going to be between 4 and 5 years. And the quality of the bourbon that they have for 4 years is crazy. Wow. And Wilderness Trail is the same thing. Like everything you're going to pick there is going to be, my understanding is between, I know 4 is the minimum, obviously, because 4 is the minimum. Maybe to 6, but maybe it's 5. But we went over there and they were dope and just amazing people, and the stuff we picked was really great. Those are the 2 distilleries. Like they're just defying the age statement on the bottle, which I just think is really amazing.
That's cool. That's cool. All right, we got to get into a section of the show, but it's going to be done a little bit differently. I like to call it Shooters Gotta Shoot. So what that normally is I give you guys Instagram comments. I read you a comment that's either left on a Sister of the Leafs page, a porn star page, or a craft beer girl page. But I slacked. I didn't do my research. So what we're going to do for Shooters Gotta Shoot is I'm going to ask you guys something where you took your shot at. You know, you shot your shot and what was the benefit of it, right? Yeah. Or what was the unbenefit or whatever the opposite of a benefit, I guess, the not benefit? I don't know. All right. Yeah, I guess a fail. That's a good call. All right. Shooters Gotta Shoot is brought to you by Cigars and Guns. When you're looking for any of the apparel for supporting the Second Amendment, you got to hit up Cigars and Guns. They do whiskey glasses. Of course, I'm not using. They do hats. Of course, I'm not using. They also do stickers, badges, patches. Hit them up. Cigars and Guns, puff, puff, pew, pew. Adrian is a great guy. And they also do a lot of stuff with United Cigars. All right.
Puff, puff, pew, pew.
That's their hashtag they use. You gotta awesome. Put your cigar down with the piece, puff, puff, pew, pew. Boom. Done.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's not 16 in clip and 1 in the chamber.
Well, hey, however you want to cock it, that's up to you.
I don't own any guns. I'm all about the hand game. I'm all about the hand game.
You know how to cock it though.
Come for me. Come for me right here. Come on, we do this out in the parking lot.
Yeah, I'm running. All right. So Pierre, what is something in your life that you think you shoot your shot at?
I shoot my shot at.
Like you took a chance at, and you're like, "Fuck, you know what? This could hit or this could miss."
uh, I don't know. I think so my hobby is photography. So every now and then people ask me to do some stuff, and like I still don't consider myself to be a great photographer, but people seem to be enamored by a lot of stuff I do. So every now and then I do take that chance, and I'll go and I'll photograph an event. And I'm probably my biggest critic. But I'll still go and do it every now and then. So I don't know. I don't know if that meets the criteria for shooting a shot.
I'll
Yeah.
count it.
So have you ever checked Pierre's page? Least I have whiskey, no E. Least I have whiskey.
I don't think I have.
You should check it out. Like Pierre is the premier bottle photographer on Instagram. Nobody does it. Like I know everyone has these pages where they're like, "Oh, look, I have a bottle," or like, "Look, it's a bottle in the snow," or some other shit.
Yeah.
But like, how many of those pages have you seen? Right? And you're like, "Okay, I've seen this enough." They're fucking corny.
I mean, unless it's like a bourbon girl with like her tits or like twerking beside, like
It's only one of two things. It's either like someone taking a picture of a thing that they're probably trying to sell, or like a woman, and no disrespect to anyone's way that they're trying to get their hustle on, like breast meats joint, right?
yeah. But so
Look, if I had the pecs for it, I'd do the same thing.
but you know what?
But my point was, Pierre's page is Least I Have Whiskey. He has the illest bottle shots. He has the broadest range of bottles that you're going to see across whiskey. He has knowledge base in the comments about like where the bottle came from, how he got it, why it's a good whiskey. It's not just like, oh, hey, check this out. Gratuitous bottle shots. So anyone who's not following him is just like, in that regard, in terms of what he's doing, is a clown, because his joints are the best. There's like not even a contest as far as I'm concerned.
So
But I'm sorry. By the way, OJ, I just Venmo'd you, so thank you.
you brought up the whole, I mean, essentially, a lot of people are trying to sell stuff like it's the fucking 60s. You know, and I rag on this steady. When a cigar company is like, let me put this cigar in between, like, that makes me not want to smoke it or drink. It's, if you can't sell your product because of just how it is and how it's just beautiful on its own, like, you're not going to get me to buy anything if you put a woman with a nice ass and tits in front of it. You're not. It's not the 60s. It's let your product sell itself without having, you're degrading it by doing that. And
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, there's people, look, and again, like, all right, this is a fine line. So I look at like, okay, Cigar Lover 12, right?
oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
No, but I really like her, and I like what she does, right? Because like if you follow her on her live stories,
Yeah.
she got quizzes about like cigar knowledge shit, and you may think that you know shit, and you take those quizzes, and then you're like, oh wow, I just got like a D-. Like she knows her shit, and so I'm not here to tell anyone how they should portray themselves on social media and like put their look out, but like, she does a great job of showcasing brands, showcasing and like doing education. To me, the things that annoy me is when like people have zero educational element about what they're doing.
Exactly. There's
Like if I go to your page and it's just breast meats and cigars or breast meats and whiskey, then I'm usually like, yeah, I'm good. Like I'm a married dude, like I don't need.
yeah,
I got breast meats at home, so like there's nothing there that's of interest to me. If you're teaching me something and you're just being your true authentic self, which is, yo, this is what I do, this is how I like to get dressed, whatever, boom, hey, so be it. As long as I'm learning something from your page, then I'm fucking down with it and I ride with it. But if I'm not learning anything, then I'm
exactly.
yeah, like
There's got to be the take home value of it. Like, what are you creeping that for? And it's like, well, no, like I'm actually learning this. It's not. What are you creeping that for? I don't know. This person doesn't even know what they're drinking or they're smoking. Like,
you're right. If you're just thirst trapping, I'm not into it.
yeah,
This is probably going to hurt me because I know that a lot of ladies out there love this whole package, and when I take the bottle like this, when I'm hugging the barrel at Four Roses, I know they're like, "Ooh, look at that sexy guy!" Like. But like, that's just me, man.
Pierre.
I need
we need Pierre in here. I have a business idea right now. Sexy bourbon men. Just sexy bourbon men. Pierre could photograph this. I don't know if you want to or not.
Are you going to be Mr. January?
I can. I'm not saying I won't, but I mean, you'd be amazed at what this bottle could cover up.
I've been working on my Photoshop skills, so.
Yeah, try to make it the bigger bottle so it looks like it's blocking out more. That's yeah.
All right, yeah. My open one. Can I open one?
Oh.
Do it.
Do it. You got permission. Pull the trigger.
All right, this is
got a shoot right there. You took your shot.
These are Medley brothers right here, man. So Sam Medley, whose dad is in the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame. I met him through my guy Justin Sloan from Justin's House of Bourbon. He allowed us to do a barrel pick with this company. They did very limited barrel picks last year. We dropped this one. He called me up and I said, "Look, man, I only got you come validated through my homeboy from Lexington, Kentucky. Excuse me, I'm struggling because I've been drinking. But I only got a couple things that I want you to do for me, which is number one, if you're coming to the New York area, you got to let us pick first ahead of all the clubs and all the other stores. And then you got to let us drop first." And he agreed. He honored his word. And we picked this Medley Brothers. This joint is 127.58 proof.
Woo!
Unfiltered. So if you get one of these bottles, I guarantee you there's char and barrel parts in the bottom.
That is amazing.
This baby it's 8 years old. It just is, to me, what I would consider like the quintessential like Kentucky style of bourbon. Like, it's high corn. It's got that sweetness. It's got a little bit of cherry. It's got that nice peanut. And it's really high proof, like a Colonel Taylor barrel proof.
Yeah, that octane.
Big time Elijah Craig's, but it just drinks like it's like 102 proof.
Oh.
So, and Sam Medley's dad, like I said, who is responsible for Mellow Corn, a bunch of different recipes that you're really familiar with. He's an old dude now. He's a senior citizen. Like, bless up to him.
Yo, that's got beautiful color for an 8-year.
So this one we called when we did the sticker, we called it the Hall of Famer because the guy that had recently been inducted into Kentucky Hall of Fame, and that's the Hall of Fame trophy that they get. So
that's amazing. Hey, cheers, guys! Thanks for coming on, OJ, Pierre. We finally worked out a date and time. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, it only took you 7 weeks.
So my thing is I send messages out. I drink. I end up passing out as you're just getting going, and you're like, "Yo," and I'm like, "I fell asleep, man. I passed out." So it's the schedules and just how often I check my messages. It's just like, fuck, you got to be kidding me.
Is today Monday? What's today?
I thought it was fucking Saturday today.
What
I'm not even close. It's Wednesday.
is it? Wednesday?
It's Wednesday.
Is it?
All day.
Yeah. We got like another 6 hours. We got another 5 hours and 53 minutes of Wednesday.
Yeah, dude, man. I thought it was Tuesday.
I mean, you're not far off though.
I'm close.
All right, OJ, I need your shooter's got to shoot. When do you think you took your shot?
All right. So in this particular thing that we're talking about, I think it had to do with the first time I was able to go do a barrel pick, which was I had been a customer of 58 Wine and Liquor again. Sean Kim, New York Spirits Guru, the GOAT, and I'd been buying a lot of his stuff. I'd been in the shop and really loved the place. Family-run place. His mom is great. She works at the shop with him, and Sean is just a great guy. And Sean had been selling me his barrel picks, and I liked his barrel picks. They were really good. I enjoyed him. He was doing them on his own, and he had not yet gone to any distilleries to do his picks. And one day I was in there buying a bunch of stuff. It was like, this was years ago. So I don't know, 3 years ago, like I said, 2-3 years ago, when things were a little more readily available, and he would hold stuff for me and dot. And I bought a barrel pick from him, a Knob Creek pick, and I think a Russell's pick I bought from him. And he was like, yo, I got a Four Roses pick that I'm going to come up and do. And I was like, yo, man, at that time, I was leaving one job and I was going to another, right? And I got I'd signed a separation agreement, so I basically was getting paid to like sit on my ass at home. I was bored as fuck.
Paid to not work.
And I was paid to not work.
A dream.
It's like socialism.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
So I was weirdly spending that time. This is how fucking twisted bourbon gets you. I was weirdly spending that time, instead of looking for another job, wandering around New York City and the boroughs, looking for liquor stores where I could find like stuff that I was interested in, and trying to just make relationships with store owners so I could buy stuff. And Sean was like, yo, I got I'm going to be doing a Four Roses pick coming up, blah, 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 blah. And we were talking about it, and I was like, yo, my guy. My guy. I ain't doing shit. Let me come and do this pick with you. And he was like, okay. I sort of thought it over in his head. Kind of looked at me like, why the fuck would I allow you to come and like be a part of my business? And I was just like, look, man, I'm really interested to just see like where my knowledge level is, like where my skill level is. I just want to know, am I, I've been drinking this stuff. I'm interested in it. Like if I went someplace to do this barrel pick stuff, and I had been listening to the Bourbon Pursuit podcast, and those guys are all from Kentucky, and they do the round tables with like Blake and Sipping Corn and all these people, and they were talking about barrel picks in the South and Tennessee and Florida and how they were doing it and all this shit. And I just was really like, yo, man, I think that like I drink enough to know what's good and what's bad. I don't know that I drink enough to like differentiate. Like if you put two products in front of me, could I tell you like this is Elijah Craig and this is Buffalo Trace? I didn't know. Mm-hmm. But I thought that I knew I had drank enough to know what was good and like what was bad. And so I said to him, yo, man, if you want someone to come with you, I would really love to go. And he was like, okay, cool. And like, I put it out there and I was like, let me know what it is you think that you need other than someone to come with you to help you pick, and I'll help you out. Like, this is what my skill set is. I work in media. I know how to do design. I know how to do marketing. I understand social media. Like, if any of those things will help you, I'll just go. We'll pick together. We'll figure out like what it is we're doing. And then when we get the barrel pick in, I'll help you with the sale of it. And he was gracious enough, frankly, to say, okay, like, I've seen you enough in my store. We've been cool enough. We've had enough cool conversations. fuck it, man, why don't you come with me? And at that point, he let me come with him. We picked DIY 1, which was a Four Roses bourbon. And he let me design the label, and he let me help him with the social media for the store. And literally, like, that was it. That was the thing.
Dude.
That, like,
Yeah. Yo, but that's
and-
a gamble though, right? That's why you shot your shot. Dude, it could have went left or it could have went right, but it went dead. You know what I mean? It did what you wanted it to do.
I have to give him credit. I really have to give him credit, and I will never in all of the time till now, the end of the time, give him credit, because New York City is just weird and funny like that, right? So there's a couple whiskey clubs. They're very white, they're very corny, they're very middle-aged, and I think Pierre and I have been to a bunch of their events and kind of like not had a great time. And there's some liquor stores that do barrel picks, and they're very particular and very sort of like, classist is not quite the right word, but it's very much like, nah, we do this, you're a consumer. And the fact that Sean was willing to be like, hey man, yeah, come with me, like, let's do this and let's figure it out. Like, I will always give him credit for that, and we did the pick. We've done a bunch of picks with him, and it just is like blossomed into, he helped us start our business. He literally helped us start our business. He literally extended the olive branch to help us start our business. But, I had to have the heart the one time to be like, I really want to do this with you. Like, would you consider letting me come with you to do it? And blah, 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 blah. And he could have totally been, look, any other liquor store, that's my true feeling. Any other liquor store, any other liquor club in New York that was doing it, they would have been like, nah, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, you ain't shit. You're nobody. But he was gracious enough to be like, nah, man, come with me and like, come do it, and we'll do it together and we'll go from there. So I shot my shot in the right environment.
Direct hit. All right. So usually I don't partake in this because it's usually the quiz, but since we're doing, we got a family environment here. We're all sharing. We're sharing shares. So shooting my shot, I guess, was doing this podcast, taking it to where it is, and then like, all right, let me reach out to this person. Let me reach out to this person. Let me reach out to this person. And you know what? From the sponsors, every single sponsor, I guess it was just me shooting my shot, and it's getting it to where it is now. Like my big thing was there's a lot of podcasts out there, and I talk about this every show almost. There's a lot of podcasts that just review cigars or talk about cigars or talk about bourbon. How can I sort of do that, but be a lot different? Right? So it's, let me take a stab at trying to be different. And yeah, I took my shot at it, and, knock on wood, we're a year and a half now and it's still working. So usually it's a lot different because I got my co-host that sits right here, but we ain't 6 feet away. So he's had to stay home. But yeah, it's just, dude, I guess the message is gather your thoughts and take your shot.
Yeah, man.
If you don't have a lot of thoughts, don't bother taking the shot.
I would encourage, I would just say in a simple way, I would encourage everyone to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because it just, we're just in that world right now, man. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but like, I just left another major Fortune 500 company, and the way that they've been treating me, and like, look, I've made these cats in like a year, like $2-3 million. And the way that they've been treating me since I left, right? Obligations that they have to me. They've been literally trying to figure out every corner that they can cut. Just to, every corner they can cut. What's the minimum amount that they can do?
Yeah.
Fill the obligations that they owe to me. And I'm just like, this is so whack and fucking corny. Like, even if I ran a company and you worked for me and shit didn't work out right and we had to part and go separate ways, like, man, I'm all about go with God, man. Karma is undefeated.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, it's reigning champ.
You want to make sure that like people move on to their next thing in a good and positive way. And I feel like it's just not the way that like businesses run now, and the amount of money that you can make by fucking people over is so minimal as opposed to the amount of money you can make by treating people with respect.
Yo, just treat people like a human being. That's all it is. And it's it's the same shit at my company, right? Where it's, well, especially the karma thing, right? I wrote karma, 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 karma. You might not see it for a year, 2, 3 years. And then all of a sudden, boom, your karma comes back around. And it's just like, oh, here you are.
Yeah, man. So. All right, next question.
So we're getting deep. We get
deep right now.
This is a barrel pick of thought.
Yeah.
Not the female.
My next joint.
Oh, shit.
That's the one that beat the Wellers. You can't get this anymore. It's sold out. That's
Yo.
DIY 7 from Mackenzie. To Mackenzie Bourbon from Finger Lakes Distilling.
And
if I were you, I would. You can't cross the border right now.
So I have my good buddy over in Buffalo, right? I mail all my shit to him. So I shit you not right now. I'm gonna have to spend like 3 weeks in the United States just to be able to bring back all this stuff back here to Canada.
You need to get with Finger Lakes Distilling, the Mackenzie bourbons. Their barrel picks are so good, and people are either like, when we did these barrel picks from Finger Lakes, people were kind of curious about it, right? Because a bunch of these people buy this shit from the South, and they were like, New York, bah humbug the North. What can you guys be doing? Guess what? They're the Buffalo Trace. Come get it. Come get work, Buffalo Trace.
You know what though? Good luck going to Finger Lakes and having a bad time.
For real. Yeah.
It doesn't exist. You go to Finger Lakes, tell me how you could be pissed off. You can't. Dude,
No.
Finger Lakes, honestly, in North America is one of the most beautiful places.
No, it's amazing. They got breweries there. They got wine there. They got an amazing whiskey distillery. It's just beautiful. New York State represent.
Dude, hey, I'm a 716 guy, man. Buffalo. Buffalo is my second home.
As long as we're not talking football.
Wow.
I'm assuming you're a Jets fan or a Giants fan.
Yo, Jets coming next year. Jets coming.
Let's go Argonauts.
Jets coming.
Hey, Pierre, I just can't watch the CFL.
Why? Why not?
It's just not the NFL. I tried. I literally, the Hamilton Tiger Cats? The Hamilton Tiger Cats are literally, I could be at their stadium in 30 minutes. So you know what I think it is with the CFL? It's the tailgating laws. Tailgating, I tailgate at one of the top North American rated tailgating places, Buffalo.
Wait, they don't let you tailgate there?
It's very limited. Like, they check what you're bringing in. They check what you have in the parking lot. It's heavily patrolled. Like, it's not tailgate.
Like, these are the type. I don't know what the fuck is going on in all these countries, but like, all these laws need to be fucking changed, and they need to be like, these tailgate laws need to be changed. These shipping across state lines laws need to be fucking changed. Like, it's just a joke. Like, do we gotta wait for Jeff Bezos to basically be like, okay, I got $500 million on the line to change all the laws everywhere so that like people can get shit.
Dude, he coughs and that's $500 million.
Yeah.
Like, a cough. Sorry, that was 500. All right.
Yeah.
He
does the rampage. He does the rampage and he's like, that's like a billion right there.
Pew pew.
But that's not even joking. Like, it's
the renegade. Look at me. I'm so fucking old.
All right. So normally I do what's in Evan's mouth. This is normally Evan, and he just talked about the cigar that he's smoking. So OJ, you're smoking. We got to do what's in OJ's mouth, and that is brought to you by Bearded Buffalo. When you're looking for any beard oil creams, don't waste any time with all these other suckers out there. Use the best stuff in the biz. I use it in my beard every day. The combs, the brushes, the creams, the tattoo cream, everything. BeardedBuffalo.com, promo code REBAR. All right, OJ, What is in your mouth?
All right, I got that. I went with the Florida Cano.
You mean now, not last night, right?
Well, I'll tell you about how that started, that segment. Sorry, OJ.
Florida Cano, I lit it up because my man I got it from my man. I really was like stressing, trying to find these forever. So I got the Florida Cano España right now. My beard game is the trash can. So
Yeah, I'll cover that. I'll cover it. Don't worry. I got your beard.
So I got the Florida Cano right now, man. Florida Cano.
All right. So I got to fill Pierre in a little bit. Man, that just sounds so weird now. After talking about what's in OJ's mouth, and then I say I got to fill Pierre in.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. So how what's in Evan's mouth started was originally myself and J-Dub in Texas, we would take cigars. We would take the bands off them, and we would write very, I guess, strange sayings on the bands, and we would reband it. So I'd be like, tell your boyfriend I said hi. And so it's like, Evan, what are you smoking? And he would say it. He's like, tell your boyfriend, my balls are in your mouth. We would name the cigars. Evan, what are you smoking? My balls are in your mouth.
Smoking a tea bag.
Yes. And so he would read it, and he wouldn't know what the cigar is, right? So it's like the blind taste challenge, what you guys do with bourbon. I would do that with cigars to him. So I'd be like, hey, you're going to smoke this. You're not going to know what it is. Give me your take on it. There's some stuff that he would normally smoke. He'd be like, I love that from them. Without the band, he's like, it's okay. You at the end of the show, you tell him what it is, and he's like, shit, seriously?
Blind rule.
No, a lot of the time, right? The band, the label on the bottle, it throws your mind off, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that people realize how much the visual label impacts their enjoyment of something. But that's a great point. I think that people tend to enjoy things for the wrong reasons a lot of the time. And I think that's a great way to get people to, clear their minds and not think about, the branding or what they've been influenced to like, and get their true opinion about things. And I do that a lot with my buddies that are scattered throughout the States. So I'll do like those little Boston bottles, and I'll send out a couple samples. I don't put anything on it. I'll put A, B, and C.
Yep.
And, let them go through it, let them tell me what they like, and then I'll tell them what was in each one.
Yeah. What did you think of A? Oh, I thought this. Okay. What did you think? Yeah. And it's, he's done it to me a couple times on the show. And I was surprised. 100% I was surprised. So have you thought about the idea of if you took a bottle of bourbon, how you get to design the label sometimes? Just do like a pencil written one, like good lot one, or just something, make it cheesy, right? And just be like, people are like, shit, should I be into this or should I not? I mean, knowing what you guys do, it'll probably sell like crazy anyways because of where it's going to come from and what you guys do for it. But it's the idea, you don't see companies, let's make the labeling shittier, right?
Yeah.
I think what we try to do, man, is like, look, man, like all credit to all of these distilleries that have been around for years, right? Like I'm not here to knock it. Like, look, Eddie Russell is a genius, right? Like when you talk about these people who are gods in the industry who have been making bourbon for their entire life, right? Eddie Russell at Wild Turkey, right? 34-year master. Like, I don't have that credential. There's never going to be a scenario where I'm at his level, right? So I don't want to knock any of the big companies because they're there and they're doing business because they have demonstrated the ability to do quality over a long period of time, and credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
What I think that people don't realize is when you get to new companies in the business, right? New companies who are like doing their own thing, making their own stuff happen. Like they're making good stuff. Like there's a lot of great people out there making dope stuff.
You could swear, it's fine. We did a disclaimer.
So like in that regard, like I don't want people to look at, like, we're going to do a Taconic pick, right? The distiller Taconic is a guy who worked at Buffalo Trace, who is a fucking chemist, who's a dope dude, and he literally came to us and was like, "We want to do something with you. Like, let's figure it out." We went up to the distillery. We tried a bunch of stuff. We toured the place. We took the photos. We did all the stuff, and they got really good stuff there. But you know what? If you try to go to a person from Kentucky, Tennessee, the South, and you're like, "Hey, try this Taconic bourbon, this Taconic rye," they're gonna be like, "Yeah, no, I don't fuck with that because that's from New York."
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like, and it's all label bias. It's all
Yeah.
label bias.
it's
They got
that's the
like-
big part where the rest of the world helps with this, right?
they got heat, and that's the thing that we try to do with our barrel picks is like, look, when you go to using Four Roses, because I love Four Roses. When you go to Four Roses, Mandy Jo Vance is the woman who runs their barrel pick program. She's amazing. All these people are going to say, "Oh, it's Al Young," blah blah blah. It's not Al Young. It's another woman who people don't know her name. She's the one who runs it. She's the one who does the whole thing. You go there, she wheels out 7 barrels for you. You literally could just throw a dart at the barrels, right, and be like, "Okay, we'll pick that one," and that barrel would be fire, right? So credit where credit is due to all the amazing companies that have been doing this for multiple generations. But you have all these young people who have gone and gotten their degrees in chemistry and all of this other thing, and they're working in all these other companies, and they're doing all this cool stuff. Yo, man, like just I could name a bunch of them across the top of across the country, and people don't want to give them credit because they don't have the age, they don't have the years in the game.
It's street cred. Street cred counts more than anything.
What we're trying to demonstrate, and a lot of the picks we're going to do with some of these craft distilleries, is they have really good stuff. You would be surprised. We took our New Riff 4-year pick and put it up against other picks, other things that are 10, 15, 12 years, and people have been like, "Yo, I'll take that New Riff 4-year." And that's what I'm saying is it's like, we got to open up, people got to open up their mind. They got to open up like what they're thinking, because a bunch of these companies have great people who are really cool, who you would fuck with like 10 Ways Till Tuesday. They just don't have the age statement, but they have the product, and the product is great.
Or
Bring that product.
Expand your horizon.
Yeah, we're just trying to bring that product to people and be like, expand your horizon. You can't get a Weller 12-year? Okay. We got a Wilderness Trail 5-year.
Don't sleep on the craft distilleries. Bang, bang, puff, puff, pew, pew.
Bang, bang. That's a big thing, right? Nobody is sleeping on craft breweries. So why
No.
are people sleeping on craft distilleries?
It's the
Exactly.
it's I think it's 2 things. It's the age statement on the whiskey. And look, man, I will tell you this. I think the sweet spot to me is 8. Is like an 8-year. If you get to 8-year, like an 8-year bourbon, an American whiskey can compete with any whiskey worldwide, hands down, period. 50 years, 10 years, 5 years, whatever.
Easily.
If you then factor in that the people at a particular place are well educated, they got, these dudes got PhDs, they know their shit, and like they're spending a lot of time and energy figuring out like what is the product. Like, you can find great stuff anywhere, and that's our point. Like, trying to say to people like, "Yo, man, don't be thirst trapping over this shit that people are just taking crotch shots of." Like, I went to Costco. I was lucky enough to get the fucking Pappy Van Winkle fucking 10-year-old rip, blah blah blah. I guarantee you, if you put that bottle against a Wilderness Trail 5-year, yeah, you will likely not pick that Pappy Van Winkle.
Oh yeah. And see, it's just nobody is expanding their horizons with that, right? People have done it with craft beer now. They do all the micro brews. They do all the all the small batch cigar companies. Yo, use your head. Use
I
your
think it's
head.
changing. I think it's changing. I think it's changing because this. I think it's changing because the allocated stuff is at such a price point that like the common man just can't afford it, right? So like
And it's what can I get that's like? What can I get that's like?
New York City, like we're in that market, right? New York City we have dictated this what the secondary market is going to be.
Yeah. Oh, hands down, man. I even see it, the reflection of it in Buffalo.
Right.
You know
So
what I mean? It's as you get closer, you all right, $10 here, $10 here, and then
Right.
you end up seeing the full price.
So rich dudes who live on Wall Street have dictated what the prices are going to be, and they may not be that knowledgeable about. They just may not be that knowledgeable about the products. They're buying them for whatever reason. They can afford to buy them. It's no issue. It's no skin up the bat. They're just like, yeah, whatever.
I don't even want to consider it knowledge. I want to consider it how ignorant they are. Well, it's expensive. It's got to be good. It's expensive. It's good. They're ignorant of the whole process of it. Oh, I just finished my bottle of Pappy. Oh, this guy on the secondary is selling it for $500, thinking it's a fluke price, right? $500 right now for Pappy. That's a great price on the secondary. But he sees it. Well, it's expensive. It's got to be good.
Right.
Why wouldn't it be good? It's expensive. I make lots of money.
Right.
It's got to be good.
So that's what I would say. I'm in your corner 100%, which is there's a bunch of distilleries out there. They don't have the age statement. They just don't, and they're not gonna for a while. And frankly, like I said, my opinion is you get past 8, like you can go up, but you can also go down.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shit that I've tried that's been super aged, and I've been like,
dude,
it's a trap can.
Hands down, every Pappy I've had, not really that impressed with for the price. It's good, but when you think about price, okay, I pay $250 for a bottle of Pappy 12, right? I could get how many other bottles of stuff that I could crush every day and that I like, and that, in my opinion, is good or better.
But that's it. You know, the Pappy isn't Pap. You know what we expect anymore. You know, 10, 12, 15 years ago, Pappy was legit. Now it's just another bottle.
So now it's a brand like Louis Vuitton, you know, like Fendi. That's what it became now. And you know what? Hey, they sold out, but I mean, I guess if you have the ability to sell out and still do some pretty decent shit, you know, by all, you know, I've said it before, you know, you dangle enough zeros in front of my face, I'll stop doing this. I'll do something. You know what I mean? Hey, change my life. Change my life and I will change.
And it's not to say, like, I think people need to be clear. It's not to say that those brands aren't good, right? It's not to say
it's still good bourbon.
Pappy 15 is great. Every time I've had it, it's been great. Pappy 12, I really love, and I don't want to single them out.
No, by no means.
And by no means. But my point is to say, if you set that as your benchmark, I think that a lot of people would be surprised if you put that against something else and a blind taste and whether or not you really were able to pick it, right? And so that's all I'm saying. You know, if you just look at the methodology and the chemistry behind, like, you know, what happens, how it goes into a barrel, like what is ideally in a distiller's mind, how long they should hold it, blah, 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 all of those things. The ultimate age is not always going to yield you the best thing, right? Like a younger thing could be so lit, so much better than like something that you've just like has been sitting in a corner somewhere. So that's, you know, I think there's a lot of people out there doing like dope stuff. We love to go see those people. We want to go see those people. We want to go like shoot photographs, do media, pick stuff from them. Like that's literally what we do, is like bring to our people, you know, and we have a ton of people we have like in our group whiskey nerds who are like, they know fucking everything. You couldn't put a thing beyond them, the whiskey novices, the people who are just buying the bottles for someone in their house. I'm buying it for my dad. I'm buying it for my husband. I'm buying it for my brother. I'm buying it for. We have a massive amount of women who buy our bottles, right? Because they just want to get something good to bring into their household.
Hell yeah.
What you're going to find is like there's so many amazing things. There's so many amazing people doing so much amazing stuff. Don't get caught up in an age statement. Don't get caught up in a brand name. Try everything. Like
Yeah.
you're what you're most likely going to find. Look, and this is what I found going back to your bottle that's sitting right there on your table. You know, my favorite whiskey of all time is the Elijah Craig 12, which used to be a $35 bottle of whiskey.
Amen.
And the only reason that the price on that has changed is because they don't make it anymore. But it used to be a $35 bottle of whiskey, and I would take that 10 ways till Tuesday over fucking almost anything.
Yeah.
You know what the funny thing is for me, like, and I don't know if there's a crossover into cigars and what cigars are doing, but I find it interesting that more and more companies, especially the craft distilleries, but more and more companies are getting into doing different experiments and doing things differently. I mean, there's so many variables that go into making a whiskey. Whether it be
It's complex.
the mash bill, whether it be the entry proof, the barrel. There's so many different variables, and I think it's interesting to see how it's changing it and doing different things.
It's a true science. If you dissect almost anything, it gets to a science point of it where we did this long with this. No matter how you break it down, it's a science. With the cigar, okay, the wrapper's age this long. Okay, the filler, everything. With the bourbon, it could be the corn we did this time, but this time it's all a science, and it's crazy, and we're probably 50, 60 years away from everything being done fully and different. And same with cigars. As much as you think, okay, not much that could change, dude, it'll be different next year. And it's going to keep changing. Every year it's going to keep changing. All right. We got to get in one of the other segments. We're 2 segments away from the show being done. All right. It is called.
Show should never be done.
What's that?
Show should never be done. I switched up to a Monte Cristo cigarillo.
I mean, we could keep going.
That looks like a blunt. I know that looks like a blunt, but it's not. It's a Monte Cristo.
Dude, it's legal here where I am. I wasn't going to judge. And it's legal where you are too in Mass.
So, I mean, we didn't have time to stop. Me and my wife smoke these on like anywhere we go. Anytime I go, anytime I go, anywhere I go, I look for these. The 20 pack.
Yeah. Yo, that reminds me of Cuban sea salt. Like just the Cuban salt from the sea, man. That's what it reminds me of.
These are one of my favorites, man, and like I gotta be careful with them because you can smoke a pack and
It's a social thing. It's a social thing. That's it.
The funny thing is, I don't smoke, but anytime I travel, and I do a lot of travel international, and you can always pick up Cubans and a lot of other international duty-free shops. But my buddy who does smoke, he always asks me, he's like, if you go anywhere, the only thing I want you to get is the Monte Cristo No. 3. So I usually pick up a pack anytime I travel to bring back for him.
Yeah, everybody's got their vice. Everybody's got their thing of what, like, I need that. I need that. All right. It is time for, it's not touching tips with JP and Evan. It's a 3-way sword fight right now. We got to call it touching tips with Pierre and OJ and JP. All right. If you guys could offer a tip.
I got to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, usually it's worse. Usually it's just me touching his tip. Mentally wise, mental. It's a mental game. All right.
Go.
If you could offer a tip to somebody in anything, it could be anything. It could be bourbon. It could be anything. What would it be?
OJ, go ahead.
All right. I think right now I'm gonna go on some like holistic puppy dogs and ice cream fuzzy bunny shit. Here's what I've seen right now, just because we're in a weird time, right? is like everyone is trying to find a way and trying to find a place to like bring their family to just be like, I'm trying to get away from everyone. I'm trying to follow all the rules of engagement, blah, 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 blah. So I came to a place, right? Like, I live in New York City. I think like what people don't really think about it, right? So like where I live in New York City, right? And I'm a fucking property owner. I live in a building with like 250 apartments, right? 3 towers. So I live on top of a lot of senior citizens, right? Like we're literally on top of one another, right? We're literally on top of one another. And I made a decision a couple weeks ago that like, hey, I had another place that I own where I could go and be on a block where I wouldn't be anywhere near anyone, right? Like I'm on a block right now where there's 20 houses, and of those 20 houses, only 3 are occupied, right? So nobody is near me, right? I'm literally social isolating. If I had stayed in New York where things were multiplying and getting crazy, like the closest person to me was like 10, 15 feet, right? So I came out here because I thought, all right, look, we're going to social isolate for a couple weeks. I don't know if I have it, I don't have it, but we're going to follow all the rules. I'm going to do all the education, all that shit, and make sure that like I'm not endangering myself, my family, or anyone in my local community. But my best bet to not spread any viruses was not to stay home, was to come here where I'm at, where I can't be around anywhere and I can't touch anyone. And my old building, literally all it took was going in an elevator, it only takes someone touching the elevator buttons, some senior citizen who's living the same life, has been living the same life, to be like, I'm going to go in the elevator downstairs and like rifle through the papers to figure out which paper is theirs. For another person to be like, oh, I just came downstairs to like get my package from Amazon. Like that's the life that people are living in New York because of the size of the island. It's very small. It's only really 10 miles long by about 1-2 miles wide, right? So I get here, right? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Quarantine, stay at home, blah, blah, blah. I'm 99% sure no one in my family has this. And the fact that we were able to come here and do what we're doing has been able to prevent us from anything tragic happening, and anyone else in my community where I live from anything tragic happening. But I get to this community and people are like, we don't want you here. We don't want people coming here. Put that wall up, Trump, right? They're the same people.
Yo, you're getting shunned.
Right? They're the same people. I'm in Massachusetts. They're the same people who elected Elizabeth Warren as a senator, right? Hardcore liberal as left could be. But all of the posts that I see in social media is like, don't come here, don't come to our community, don't do this, don't do that. And it's just, to me, mad un-American and mad fucking corny, right?
Yo.
When 9/11 happened and everyone was like, oh, the whole country is under attack, people from New York City were like, yo, we got this. We're going to raise this up. We're going to raise the entire fucking community. And by community, I mean the nation, to be like, we accept anyone who comes here. We accept all of this. We're here to make sure that like we can get through it. And what I've noticed in this shit that we're dealing with right now is everyone is on some like, don't talk to me. You're not from here. Right? I don't want you here. Like, don't come to my place. And it just is like real stinky and corny and not American. You know, and so my shout out thing, to get back to what you're saying, is like, look, man, we're all trying to get through this, right? And nobody is going anywhere, doing anything except based upon what they think is the best scenario for their family, right? For their children. And like, I just respect that. And everyone has to think about it like that. Like, okay, we're all in it together, man. We're all in it together. So the smart thing is, in the beneficial, love God thing to do, is to be like, We got to make sure that everyone's going to get through this. We got to make sure that everyone's going to be okay. What are the ways that I can participate in this whole new crazy environment in a way that helps people without trying to ostracize anyone?
That makes sense. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you and, you know, your surroundings, whether it's your family or, you know, your people, right? So it's, yeah, I mean, dude, you got to do it's
Like I said, I went from being in a scenario where I was 15 feet away from my closest person to 200 feet away from my closest person. And I chose to make that move because I have children, right? And I would think that anyone would look at that and be like, oh, I respect that. No, I'm not here being a dickhead, being like, yo, I'm out in these streets like a motherfucker, like coughing on people and like doing dumb shit. But it just, the idea that like this whole virus thing we have right now is impossible to deal with in a scenario where you have a city that has a massive amount of people in a small amount of space. So what are those places? New York City, right? That's one.
Toronto.
Toronto, that's another one.
Yep.
San Francisco, that's another one, right? The reality is the more places that people can get to where they don't have to interact with anyone and they can legitimately, like quarantining in New York is not real.
No, it doesn't exist. Everything you touch, somebody has touched 10 times over.
You touch, and not only that, but you have a lot of low income and middle income people who can't afford to stay at home for 2 weeks and not work because you know what? Nobody has said, yo, you don't have to pay your rent.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah,
you have
the deferral or yeah.
Right, you go out there and get the bag. You got to go out there and get the fucking bag. And so if you have to go out there and get the bag, then people have to understand that like people are going out into this shit because they have to, not because they want to.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the need, or I got
it's financial. It's a financial need, and I'm looking at all the stuff that they're doing, and I haven't looked at any of the shit they're doing to say like, okay, like we're looking at the demographics and the geography, and make decisions about this based upon those things about how we've been like. There's a reason why New York is popping, because people cannot stay at home.
Yo, it's a city that never sleeps.
But it's not because they want to. It's not because they want to. It's not like people are out there being like, yo, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna party, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. If people are going out of the house in New York City, it's because they feel like they need to make money, because if they don't make money, they're gonna get screwed financially. Right? And I haven't seen anything at all where anyone said we're going to take care of these people who otherwise, like I haven't seen anything where anyone said, if you think you have to go out to make money to pay your bills, don't go out. We're going to make sure that your bills are handled. No one is saying that.
Yeah, so nobody anywhere in the world is telling to everybody, hey, just don't worry right now.
Right. No one is telling the low income and middle income people, we got you, your bills are going to be, you know, furloughed. You're going to be okay. It's going to be up. And so those people are acting on their natural, right? On what is their natural life, which is, hey, my landlord is saying, you know, what's today, April 1st? Every landlord in New York City is saying to every person who rents property, where is my money?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's a lot of this. I think is the media doing it too. The media has blown this way out of proportion. I mean, we're fucked now. It's fucked. But the media is constantly just the negative, right? There's been no whatsoever of the actual positive. If there's a sliver of positive out of this, but that's not being shown.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, man, I don't want to get too political, but like you can't pass a multi-trillion-dollar bill for the United States and not tell poor people like here's what it should have been, in my opinion. Yo, you're poor, your rent is due. Like, don't worry about it. You don't got to pay that rent for 4 months.
Exactly.
And when we come back and tell you you got to pay your rent, you don't got to pay 4 months at once. We're gonna figure out a way for you to pay it over time. blah, 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 blah. No. And so poor people are like, yo, if I don't go out and work, if I don't leave the house, I'm going to get evicted. And then what happens to my children?
It's the I can't work, I can't live.
Right. And there's just no one is addressing that. No one is addressing that. And that's the reason why you can't control the spread in a mass population area where you haven't said to the people who are low income, calm down. You don't have to worry about your bills. Your bills are either going to be washed away or delayed to a point where you can pay them in a real human, like we're all humans, yo. We're all humans. Nobody wants to see anyone on the street.
No.
I don't want to see kids be homeless. I don't want to see anyone's kids be homeless. I want to see everybody live. You know, and if I was a property owner in New York and I owned some mega building with a bunch of poor people in it, I'd be like, you know what? I'm rich and y'all are good. And I'm not going to come knocking on your door telling you need to pay me any money anytime soon. And I will come to you individually and figure out what you can pay and when you can pay it, and we'll work it out.
Yeah. Yeah. It all comes around, right? That's karma.
The situation is these motherfuckers are going to be going to poor people. Right now, people are like, yo, your rent is due. And the vast majority of people who owe that $600, $800, $900, $1,200, $1,500 rent, they haven't been able to work for 3 weeks.
Yep.
So they ain't got that money. They have no savings. And that's the thing, man. I just feel like we got to turn this switch somewhere, some way. We got to turn this switch in America. Like, look, I get capitalism. I get why it works, but I also get why it doesn't work. And right now is the time for people to recognize why it doesn't work and not be so manipulative and look at all these people who don't have all the benefits and say, I'm going to ride with you. I know you're a good person. I know you're hardworking. I know you get up every day at 8 in the morning and you work 12 hours a day. And I'm not going to stress you over this money. When we get to a point where everyone is getting paid again, then I can get my money from you. It's not going to hurt me. I already have a crap load of money. But that's not what's happening.
No.
And that part, regardless of what the media is saying and regardless of what's going on anywhere else, we got to look at all these people who can't afford this situation that's going on right now. And we got to say to them, yo, we got you. We got your back. Like, take care of your family. Don't get sick. Don't let your grandmoms get infected. Like, I know she's 89. Let her live her life. Like, do you with your family. When we get to another point later on down the road, when the economy is bounced back, because we know the stock market is going to bounce back. And we know all the people
100%.
money, that's going to bounce back and they're going to get paid. All the people who aren't invested in those areas, we got to figure out how we give them some relief. Because otherwise, what's going to happen when we get to the other side of this is all those low-income people are going to be so screwed, and all the middle-income people who are on the cusp of just being on that low-income side are going to be thrust down in a scenario that's messed up. And I don't want to live in an oligarchy.
No, I mean, the world needs to be a better place personally.
Yes.
Like, just personal, like, just, if you could be if you're a good person, you can afford to make somebody's life easier, make it easier.
Yes. And if you got
make it easier, make it just livable.
If you got the bag right now, and you got money right now, and you got people who pay you money, and that's how you make your money, and you know that you're dealing with those people, you need to cut them a big fucking break.
Hell yeah. What if you can? Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
That's the big. If you can, you shouldn't even be questioning it. You should. If you can, you should. If you can, why wouldn't you? It's not you should. It's why wouldn't you?
Right. So
it's not why you should. It's why wouldn't you do it with anything? If you could support a small business, why wouldn't you right now? If you could support anything, why wouldn't you?
Right. So that's all I'm saying is, man, I'm all about, like, when I see, look, man, we're in our, to bring it back to what we do. When I see people who run bars in areas like, yo, man, I had a friend of mine who's running a bar in Florida, and put up a post. I was like, we're selling a bunch of bottles. Yo, I bought mad bottles, B, and the bottles were not cheap. The bottles were not cheap. It wasn't like it was like, oh, I'm getting a steal, blah, 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 blah. I literally was like, what do you got? I want those bottles. I looked at the prices. The prices were not great, but I realized, okay, you need this money. And so I bought those motherfucking bottles.
Yo, it's you buy a bottle, that shop now essentially is open for an extra day. Every bottle that's sold is that shop
Right.
being open for an extra day.
People are all like, I'm looking for deals. I'm trying to find out who's got the deal on a Pappy 15. Fucking deal on a Pappy 15, yo. Pay $400 for a Pappy 15. If you got heart and you got money, like,
Yo, auction it off.
forward. Pay it forward.
Auction it off, pay it forward.
Pay it forward. I bought a bunch of bottles, like I was saying. I bought a bunch of bottles from this bar, and I said to the bar owner, I said, look, yo, I'm gonna buy these bottles. If later on down the line, like, yo, send them to, like, I can't even get the bottles. So I can't get the bottles because I'm in another location. Like, I can't get the bottles. So you might as well hold the bottles. But I'm paying you for these bottles. These are the ones I want. In the scenario that we bounce back from this and you need these bottles to run your business, then, yo, you just buy them back from me from what I paid.
Yeah.
Just credit me what I paid and then put them to use in your establishment so that you can make money off of it. And anyone who's like out here trying to like get deals, make money and all that shit, I'm just like, fuck you. I don't love these hoes.
No, it's if you're looking to make money now, you're a fucking scumbag.
Unless it's in the stock market.
Well, yeah, I mean, a fucking good stock's a good stock.
But if you're trying to make money off people who are running small businesses by buying their product, like, you're an asshole.
Yeah, no, it's
You're an asshole.
so if you want to make money off a small business right now, you're only trying to make money off them because you're too scared to fucking open up a small business,
Right.
right?
Right.
I'll buy it now when I can capitalize off it because I don't have to risk it.
You're too shook to do the Rebar podcast.
Everybody's fucking scared. Everybody's scared. All right, Pierre.
Wait, can we rewind and play our intro song again?
Oh,
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
I should have told you this podcast is actually unedited. Pierre, what is one tip you could give people, whether it's bourbon, photography, life, anything?
The only tip that I can give anybody right now is a quote from my man Samuel L. Jackson on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Everyone, stay the fuck at home. I'll leave it there.
That's good. All right. You know what though? It's what nobody has been doing. Partially because of what OJ brought up, and partially just because there's a lot of people in the world right now that they're not bright enough to just know to stay the fuck home.
Nah, man. Where I'm at, right? Where I'm at, motherfuckers are like dropping posts on social media like people who aren't from here don't come here, blah, 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 blah. I went the other day, right, to just get essentials. And like literally people were all like, the woman behind me was like literally like all up under me, like she was trying to pinch my ass. And I'm looking at her like, yo, bitch, don't you know?
Yo, you gotta tell you like, yo, listen.
And 6 feet. How tall is your boyfriend?
This is my fucking vacation spot.
Right. How tall is your boyfriend? It's that plus 2 feet back.
Bam. Yo, I'll mail your envelope with my dick.
There are people out there who think like, oh, like, I'm not from New York. I'm not from Seattle. I'm not from Cali. Like, I don't have it. Blah 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 blah. And they're not educating themselves on what is all going on. They're too busy trying to tell other people, don't come here, don't be in my community, blah blah blah. Instead of realizing like, yo, like people are here because they need to be here, right? This is their best chance to like avoid death, to like get clean, right? Like.
They gotta realize you're there to save face, not you're there because there's nothing else left.
No, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if I didn't. If I had another option.
I mean, well, nobody's traveling to Martha's Vineyard midwinter, mid-spring.
And since I've been here, I've been literally got my fam on lockdown and spending money in the local community as I can when I see people in the local community saying like, "Yo, our business is fucked." So if you could order online, if you could order a sandwich online, right? And like that does. If you could order a sandwich online and pick it up in front of our store, that would be great. And I'm everywhere I go, I'm like, I'm ordering shit, I'm social distancing, and I'm dropping 25% tips on everyone
Yeah, hell yeah.
because I know that these people run small businesses. So, you know, that's all I can say, man, is everyone be careful. Be careful out there. Love people. Be open-minded.
Yeah, and quite honestly, to that point, I would say, as much as everyone's like all trying to be super helpful in the community right now, why do we have to wait until there's something like this crazy virus going around
Word.
to feel that way to other people when it should be like that all the time?
All the time.
I said that shit, well, sort of like it, not as nicely said, but a week ago, I go, why is everybody now wanting to be a brother to somebody or a sister to somebody? Now, because this is how we should always act towards everybody. Why would you not? Well, now you want to support a small business? Why now? But before you didn't want, you should always be a brother or always be that person you want in return. But now people, oh, you gotta be like this now. You shouldn't have to tell people what to be like. They should have. This is what people, how people are right now is how people should naturally be.
That should be life.
And that's a big thing right now is people are like, I really got to support this company right now. And it's like, why fucking support them now? You've never supported them. Why? Why now? I mean, it's great that you're supporting them, but if that's your train of thought towards it, rotten fucking hell.
Yeah, man. We just
like when this is all over, you're gonna stop supporting small businesses. Is that what you're saying?
We gotta take a big look at what we're doing, man. There's gonna be, I don't know when it's gonna be, man, when we go to the other side of this. We're gonna take a big look at what we're doing and like how we interact with one another. And we just gotta be different.
This is the eye opener of what we should, what life, what community, what everything should be like. If we were always like this, life would have been a lot different leading up to this.
Yeah, man. And it pains me for my people who are running small businesses who are suffering. It pains me because you can only do so much for them right now, man. You can only do so much for them. So it pains me.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. All you can do right now is basically, it's essentially what essential business already was for them. So you could, you generally could always order online and support the small businesses or call in orders, right? That's great. Everybody's helping them out now, but there's not the actual in-person business.
So,
and that's what's fucking people right now. You know what I mean? It's fucking businesses, and it's fucked up right now. It's fucked up. All right. I need to give my advice to people, and it's probably going to be the same as last week and the week before. Just, pull your head out of your ass and fucking, before this, you should support small businesses. After this, you should support small businesses. While this is going on, just fucking support the small businesses. That's all you got to do. At the end of the day, the small businesses is what make the world run around. That's what makes the clock fucking go. Support them. Support them because they support you.
That's your community. That's your community.
You don't get support without support. It's a chain effect, man. It's a chain reaction. Like it's, I haven't. So one of my favorite beers of all time is Miller High Life. Not proud to say it, but it is. But
wait. Sorry, what was that?
Miller High Life.
All right.
I see that in the background. Yeah, I'm a champagne of beers.
Hell yeah, dude! This is a champagne of beers. But since this has been going on, I have not touched a Miller High Life. I've only been drinking craft beers from breweries surrounding me. I'll go there, grab a 6-pack. I'll go there, grab a 6-pack. Why? That's supporting them. That's what everybody needs to do everywhere. But, you know, people are so fucking thick-headed. You know, all these big conglomerate people just don't want to do that. Just fucking support local, because at the end of the day, they support you. All
Yeah.
right. That's it. That was brought to you by Sir Luis Cigars. Swing that big thing around.
So Luis.
No, actually, he's out in Massachusetts too.
All right, yo, man. Tell him to send me some cigars. I'll smoke them like this.
Like this.
Like this. No, they know it. Don't tell me to send. Don't. He doesn't need to send me some cigars. You send me a link. I'll buy those cigars.
Yeah, I'll hand you the link after the show, man. Dude, yo, Louis.
No, nobody needs to send me shit for free. I'm all about buying my stuff, supporting these businesses, and making sure that they like keep it moving.
Yo, if they're here now, they got to be here.
So you come over my place, OJ, then you're just like, give me that shit. Give me that shit.
Give me it. Somebody else's. I'm the same way though. If I go over to somebody else's house and I know they got some, give me that. Let me have that. Let me have it. Yeah, let me try that. Let me have that. Let me have that. Let me have that.
Half the balls Pierre got in his house are from my house anyway. Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, what?
What's that? All the balls over there. All those balls over there. Pierre's right there. All the balls together you can see in the picture. Those are all balls from my house. Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold up. What bottles?
What?
Pull the CYBB out. Pull the Russells out.
Pierre's quick. Pierre's quick. All right, we got to get moving on to the last segment of the show. It's been a long episode, but it's been a good episode.
I love this. Yo, can we come on tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, yeah, fuck yeah.
Can we double down?
We got to double down. Double down.
I know you guys are busy. It's hard to get on your schedule, but can we come back?
Actually, I've done 3 episodes this week so far.
Nice.
Yo, I'm almost 4 weeks ahead because I release an episode once a week every Friday, right? So, dude, I'm set now almost till the end of April. But if you guys want to come back on, why not? Yo, you know what we got to do? We got to do a cocktail episode, right? Why not?
Oh wait, where's my shaker?
OJ can't even find a shaker now.
Oh no, it's on the floor. Sorry, I got.
It's been a good episode when you can't find your shaker.
Shit.
I haven't seen my shaker in weeks.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm gonna have to go to the bottle pours.
Oh, side note, anytime OJ talked about a bottle or a barrel release, he was actually drinking out of the bottle. For those that aren't watching and they're just listening, they're straight out of the bottle.
And that's why I don't take any samples from OJ, because he's half of it's backwash.
And yeah.
All right, it's time for the last segment of the show. I like to call What Plugs JP's Vitola. Yeah, it sounds a little weird. So a Vitola essentially is a cigar. What plugs it makes it not burn good. But it does sound pretty creepy, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it does. All right, so actually, what plugs all of our Vitola is brought to you by Nickel City Cigars. I got to tell you something quick about Nickel City Cigars. So last Saturday was supposed to be their grand opening. This shit happened, right? This whole COVID-19 coronavirus happened. But you know what Nickel City does? He does e-commerce, right? Online cigar shopping. You got to hit up Nickel City Cigars when you're looking for your Tatuaje, your Roma Craft, your Crowned Heads. But most importantly, look at OJ posing there with the bottles. But most importantly, he has United Cigars. You got to hit up Nickel City Cigars. Use promo code REBAR. All capitals, REBAR. Rebar. All right, hit him up. All right. We're going to start with Pierre. I don't know why I always start with Pierre. I'm sorry, Pierre. I always start with you. What?
You sort of put me on the spot.
I think that's what it is, and I don't have my idea yet, so I let it run around, and then I can think of my idea. So what plugs your Vitola? What's something that necessarily, it could be social media, it could be life, it could be anything. What's something that sort of pisses you off, right? It could be with anything.
What grinds my gears?
What grinds your gears, or what plugs your Vitola?
Listen, I think it's probably the same for most people. What grinds my gears, what plugs my vitola is fakeness. And there seems to be a lot of fakeness on social media. But whatever, we all have to kind of live with it and get through it.
No, it's good. I mean,
That's
it's
better for me.
in this time that we're in, there's a lot of fakeness. And I guess, when you look at, say a month ago, the fakeness was pretty much blinded, I guess, right? But you could still see it, but it's not as bad. But now you could really see it, right? So yeah, fuck the fake people, man. Fuck them.
Oh, for real.
All right. It's time for 2 bottles OJ.
Dude, I think I diatribed on this. So like you literally let me talk for like go in on this shit.
Fuck it, beat it down.
So look, it's I want to see people get back to loving people. That's all I gotta say, right? Like I came into this right here. I came into this. I was able to make a whole business, and Pierre and I have been able to make a whole business out of this, right? From going to people and being like, hey, we want to work with you. We want to be your partner. And we want to figure out what we can do that's going to benefit you and it's going to benefit us. And I just feel like right now, like everyone is on some like, what's going to benefit me?
It's me right now.
Me. Yo, man, like, even if you are man, all my homeboys, right? I went to the University of Pennsylvania.
Oh shit! Yeah, I was at the Penn State area, fucking 3 years ago.
University of Pennsylvania, Wharton School of Business. That's where I went to school. I didn't go to Wharton, but right, look, all these motherfuckers, right? Everyone is on some like capitalism. And what I think that people don't understand about capitalism is like, even though we put it out there as the strong will survive and it's all about money and all of that stuff, is like capitalism requires still some scenario in which people care about one another, right? So like we're in a scenario right now where like, fuck, the stock markets are shit and all of this other stuff because no one wants to say, I'll forego my profit to help someone else.
You're right. There's only compassion when there needs to be compassion.
And no level of capitalism will ever work if there isn't a point in which people are like, I represent for my community, I represent for my people, I'm going to forego 80% profit and instead take 50% profit because it allows other people to flourish. Capitalism does not work when you don't have a scenario where everyone is flourishing.
That's the pay it forward. You know what my hashtag for my show is? For the people, by the people.
And that's what it's got to be, because you can't, there's no scenario, there's no capitalistic scenario in which you can make money. Look, the rich who are sitting over here like, oh, I'm going to keep getting paid. You ain't going to get paid if nobody has shit.
Exactly, right? You're not getting money if nobody's putting money.
You ain't gonna get more rich if the motherfuckers who buy your shit can't buy shit.
Exactly.
We're in a time right now where everyone has to look around and make a different decision about profits and about capitalism. And that's what I'm saying right now is make a different decision, people. Make a different decision
when everybody else gets richer.
Make a different decision. Give people an opportunity forego your mega profit for the ability to get people on their feet and have them have money in their pocket so that they can contribute to the system. Because if the vast majority of people aren't contributing to the system, look, it's a wrap. It's a fucking wrap. Nobody makes shit.
Toast.
Right? Nobody makes shit. So don't be a dummy. Don't be a dumb capitalistic dummy and think, yo, fuck it, I'm going to squeeze people right now, because ultimately it's just going to come back and kick you in the ass.
Yo.
You got to be in a place right now where we're supporting people, right? We're supporting people. We're supporting everyone. And we're going to support these people in particular in a case where if you can pass it along, where you're going to support someone where they can make money and you can't. Every transaction cannot be a scenario where you make money and someone else takes an L. Right now, we're in a scenario where transactions have to be, everyone has to get paid.
No, if you make money, let that person make money so that person can make money. And then majority of people will make money.
Yes, that's it. We have to be in a scenario where we look at everything like not a moneymaker for me, but a moneymaker for that guy. And that money is going to come back around one day and it's going to be in my pocket. And that's the thing that I would say, man, is
use your fucking head. Just use your head right now.
Yeah. And we're running our business, Taste, Select, Repeat, to bring a bunch of stuff to people where they can enjoy it. And we're going to work with a bunch of brands. We're going to try to put money in their pocket where they previously have not been able to make that money. And that's all what we're going to do is like think about it in a more holistic way that helps everyone get more money in their pocket so that we can spread these dollars around.
Yo.
If you think that by just keeping the money to yourself, you're going to win, you're failing right now. You're going to fail and you're going to eat it in the end.
If you keep your money to yourself, there's going to be no place to spend it because there will be no place to spend it.
There's going to be no people to buy your stuff.
Exactly. Who could buy your stuff or who can get you more money if there is no money?
Look, I know that all of the stuff that we're picking, all of the bottles that we're picking are banging. And I know that everything that we're going to do is going to sell out, but I'm not willing to put that up if I know that it's going to endanger other people. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the money that I'm going to make. It's not worth, because that's a short-term play. It's a fool's errand and it's a clown's economic game.
Exactly. You can make it, but you're not going to keep it.
No, and never. We sell these all right now, and then like 6 months down the road, when we got more bottles that are amazing and awesome that we want people to buy, no one's going to be able to buy them.
Exactly.
Everyone to be able to buy our stuff. I want everyone to be able to participate in the economy. And if everyone isn't participating in the economy, then we're ultimately going to take it out.
Boom. That's real life business. Business. Biznitch.
Great talk.
That was a great talk. All right. We're going to get wrapping up on the show here. But I got to ask you guys to pick a funny number. A number that makes you laugh between 0 and 75. It's got to be a funny number. Something that just makes you laugh.
Okay.
Pierre's got to go first just because he's went first every time. Pierre.
Sorry. Pay attention to my wife.
I knew you were busy. That's why I kept saying your name, because I knew you were busy.
A number between
1 and infinity.
0 and 75. A number that just makes you laugh.
Well, I mean, I'm going to exclude the obvious, which is really close to 75.
Don't.
So like 6 away.
You can't. You got to include it.
But I'll go with 1.
All right. OJ, what about you?
I'm going to go with 7.
7. You know what? To be honest, 7 is my lucky number and my jersey through anything I've done.
The reason I'm going with 7 is because this is the barrel pick that sold out crazy. They kind of put our whole bit. Look, in a in a broad sense, right? We're in the process of starting our business, and our business is our social club. It is going to distilleries, working with them, working with their marketing, telling them they can market to different people, and DIY7, which is the weeded 6-year bourbon that we did, is the one that put us on the map. And we literally just went a couple weeks ago to get our liquor license, and like literally are trying to formulate our business to like have a real small business that we're gonna do, and we're committing ourselves to. And so this is the one that put us on the map and made it and convinced us that like we could run a company, and that the company could be profitable and it could be beneficial. And so that's what I'm sticking with.
All right. As much as I love the number 7, when I'm picking a number between 0 and 75, when it comes to taking care of you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this plug. This is Grace plug. Greatest plug ever. When I'm talking about a number between 0 and 75, the number that comes to mind is the number I like to keep my cigars humidified at. When I like to keep my cigars humidified at, I do that with HumiSmart. And the number I'm most keen on is 69.
And I owe you. How about 68? And I owe you one.
I mean, I'll catch that on the flip side, I guess. But the greatest part about 69 is both people get some, and your cigars are taken care of at a great, comfortable humidification level. HumiSmart, ladies and gentlemen. Use promo code, I think it's Rebar, or it's like Big 10 or Big 20 or something. I don't know why it was big. It's probably promo code Rebar. If you punch promo code Rebar in, they'll get the gist of it. Hey, HumiSmart, when you catch a 69,
it's gonna work.
No matter what, it's gotta work, right?
I left the number for you, JP. See?
I'm a 69. I'm a 7 guy normally, but when it comes to my cigars, I'm a 69 guy. That end, I guess, when I'm with my wife is 69. I don't know. I mean, how do you answer that properly? You can't. It's a fucking trick question.
There's no wrong answer, and there's no right answer either.
I get, that's that, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure. Well, not my. I don't know whose pleasure it's been. Whatever it was, I guess it was like a 68% pleasure. So somebody got it and somebody didn't. It's been my pleasure to bring. It's been my pleasure to bring you guys on the show. Taste, Select, Repeat, aka OJ and Pierre. Guys, thank you much. Well, fuck. Now I'm just drunk off bourbon. Thank you guys very much.
We did our job. Pierre, we did our job. He's wasted.
Yeah, well, fuck.
All shows and drinking whiskey.
Guys, I had a horrible time.
It's okay. Remember tomorrow.
I'll never come on this podcast again.
Yeah. Nobody has ever said that seriously, though. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know anymore.
Look, can we do this tomorrow?
I booked you in already. Both of you guys are booked in already.
Fine. Let's do it.
It's done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the one and only Slurred Rebar, joined you by OJ Lima and Pierre. No last name, but they're from Taste, Select, Repeat. Start using your fucking heads out there. Boutique, small batch, small business. Support the people that support you. Take something home from this. That's it. Peace.
Later.